Hello friends, welcome to our online class on rectifier. So, rectifier is a electronic device which converts alternating signal into direct signal. So, we shall explain what is alternating signal, what is signal, what is direct signal, then only we can move to the rectifier topic. So, before going to rectifier, I would like to share my memory of childhood on related to rectifier. Whenever I was visiting the cycle shop keeper was the mechanic was telling me bring the Voltu, bring the selection. So, I was thinking what is selection? Okay. Finally, I managed to understand the selection means solution, but I was not able to understand what is Voltu. He was always asking me Voltu, and the Voltu was this was my Voltu. So, and there was a tube used here in pin where air is pressurized to move. So, this object he was telling me it was Voltu. Finally, in college level I came to know that it is not Voltu, it is actually valve tube. Actually, this is connected to your rectifier topic. So, I was talking of the conversion of alternating signal to direct signal. So, what is signal? Signal in electronics you may understand that it is a voltage, it may be a current, signal means voltage or current. So, what is alternating and what is direct? Direct, we usually work with direct signals, that battery, dry cell, that is direct. That means, the if it is time and if it is voltage, if you draw a graph, then the value of the voltage remains constant. Suppose 5 volt, it is always 5 volt, it is a straight line, it is direct voltage. If it is current, then you talk of current, you take current in y axis, it is time, then the current is also suppose 1 ampere, then it is always 1 ampere, it is direct current. So, this is direct signal. So, what about direct or alternating signal, alternating current or alternating voltage? So, now talk of alternating current AC, we call it AC, alternating current. In our household domestic use, we had about 220 volt, that is a voltage which is AC. It means we are getting the AC not of constant magnitude, it is alternating. Alternating means its magnitude will vary and its direction will vary. Magnitude will vary and direction will vary. Then how they are varying? You may be coming across some graph like this. It is your time axis and this is your suppose voltage, or let it be 250 volt. You see, with time the voltage is not remaining constant, it is first suppose this point means this is your time, this is your voltage, and this point this is your voltage, this is your time. So, in this way when time is changing, your voltage value is changing. In direct or DC, the voltage was remaining always the same, but here the voltage value is changing. So, it will change for this period, for this time it will change, again it will change for this time, but the difference is that for this period if it is moving, the current is moving from left to right, then for this period it will be opposite, it is from right to left. So, the current due to this voltage, it will be from left to right for this period, and for this period it will be right to left. If it is a voltage, then the AC voltage is represented by this notation, but in direct voltage it is represented by this notation. This means it is always higher potential, it is always lower potential. You can assign plus sign or minus sign there. Suppose it is 5 volt, means it is always plus, it is minus. But here when it is 5 volt, you cannot say it is always positive, it is always negative, because for this time, for this period, it will be, suppose it is positive, it is negative, then for the other half, this period, you say this is your T 1, this is your T 2. For T 1, it will be plus minus. For T 2, it will be different, just opposite, it will be minus, it will be plus. So, accordingly, we call it one cycle, and this is half cycle. It is also half cycle. 2 half cycle will give you one complete cycle. And when I talk of cycle or half cycle, there is positive cycle or negative cycle. For this, if you take it is positive half cycle, then this is your negative half cycle. So, this way the AC signal is represented. In rectifier, what we do? We actually try to make the direction of the signal, voltage or current, always in one direction. That is what we convert, that is what I rectify. Rectify, make correction. Correction means for us the AC is not corrected signal, because its direction is changing. But here in rectifier, we have to make the direction of the current always in one direction, that is unidirectional. Second, the magnitude also should not change, unlike AC. In AC, the magnitude is changing continuously. The magnitude is changing, direction is changing. So, if I define AC, then in this way I can define AC is such type of signal in which the magnitude changes continuously. Here you say the magnitude is increasing maximum, then decreasing minimum, then increasing in opposite direction maximum, then decreasing to 0. In this way the magnitude is changing continuously. Again the direction is changing periodically. That means, for some time it is from left to right, and for other half it is from right to left. In this way the magnitude and direction are changing in alternating current or alternating voltage, but in direct current, so this is direction. In rectifier, we have to make the direction unidirectional. In rectifier, we have to change the magnitude constant magnitude. So, these are the job of our rectifier. So, in rectifier, we have to do these things, means we have to convert the AC into DC. So, what is the use of this diode, or how it is made, how the rectifier is devised or engineered? That thing we should discuss. You now come to the concept of diode. As you know, this is your P side this is your N side, and when it is forward biased, that means P side of the diode is connected to positive terminal of the battery and N side of diode is connected to negative terminal of the battery, then you say your diode is forward biased. That means, its depletion layer will be decreased and the current is, there is a possibility for the charge carriers to cross the junction and current can flow. But on the other way, on the other hand, what happens if they are reverse biased, if P side is negative and N side is positive, means P side of the diode is connected to negative terminal of the battery and N side of the diode is connected to positive terminal of the battery, then it is reverse biased, and you know when it is reverse biased, the depletion layer, width of the depletion layer increases and there is no chance to for the majority charge carriers to cross the junction. At that time, we say the diode circuit is cut, the diode circuit is open. So, equivalent circuit of the diode is taken to be open circuit, wherein forward bias it is taken to be closed circuit. In this way, diode has a property. So, what is the need of this property and how it is connected to rectifier? So, now we are, it is concluded that when it is forward bias, when diode is forward bias, the resistance is 0, suppose it is conducting, and when the diode is reverse biased, it is open, resistance is very high. So, the resistance is high in reverse bias, the resistance is low or 0, it is a when the ideal diode 0, when it is forward biased. This property makes this situation or fetch you this situation. What is the situation? If it is P and N, if current flows, then it can flow in P to N direction only. If it is reverse bias, then no current in reverse bias. So, this is the unidirectional property of the diode. This unidirectional property will give you the rectifier device. And what is the how it is connected to that Voltu? Voltu means valve, tube, means valve means in one direction the current should flow in one direction, and you know this is your one direction. So, in rectifier we need in one direction, in valve the property of the flow is in one direction, and you come to your diode. In diode the same one direction, how it will flow the current from P to N only when it is forward bias. If it is reverse bias, no current flow. So, whenever current is flowing, it is from P to N. Here rectifier, it is from one left to right or right to left, one direction. So, the diode can give you the rectifier circuit because it has this one directional property, it has the valve action. So, this is the principle behind diode which can be employed to make the rectifier. So, we are talking of rectifier and I have connected your valve tube or diode with the rectifier. So, when I talk of rectifier, then I should deal with the AC signal. AC signal, as we know, this is your half cycle, this is your half cycle. It is your positive half, then it is negative half. Not mandatory that it should be positive, it should be negative. If you assign this half to be positive, then okay, this is to be negative. If you assign this side to be, this half cycle to be negative, then it is positive. So, anyway, two half cycles are there in a signal. So, now according to these half cycles, we can give the names to the rectifier. So, rectifiers are of two types. It is, one is half wave rectifier, the other is full wave rectifier. When I am talking of wave, you should not be confused with the wave in the Puri sea beach. Rather, this is your alternating voltage or alternating current wave. So, half wave rectifier, it is the rectifier which is active. The rectifier is active for the half wave only. It will rectify the half wave AC only. It will be silent for the other half wave AC. But when I am talking of the full wave rectifier, your rectifier will be smart enough to be active both in half wave, first half wave and the second half wave as well. Therefore, the full wave rectifier is a better rectifier, it is understood, and it is for our common sense. I can say the full wave rectifier is a good rectifier in comparison to half wave rectifier. Anyway, as far as half wave rectifier is considered, the half wave will be converted into DC. The other half, the rectifier will be silent, but full wave for both half it will be active. So, I go to half wave rectifier. So, it is your AC mains, and you use a transformer. The cores are there, you use one diode. For half wave rectifier, one diode is sufficient. Then you take your output in the load circuit, load resistor. So, what happens here actually? This is your transformer. What does it do? It actually step up or step down this signal. Suppose it is 220 volt AC. We need around 12 volt or 10 volt or 6 volt, then it is a step down transformer. Let it be 12 volt. It is AC 12 volt. So, now it is step down. How it is? So, there is a turn ratio. The turn ratio will decide what will be the secondary voltage due to primary voltage. The turn ratio will be less than 1. Therefore, we are getting 12 volt in the secondary turn. It is called secondary turn, it is called primary turn, and this is your core, soft core. That means, it gives easy path for the magnetic flux to link with the secondary. So, when secondary coil will get the flux, it will give you the voltage, and this is 220 volt, whatever it is your AC mains, you are getting 12 volt. So, 12 volt means, so let the AC be represented by this way. This is your 12 volt, this is your minus 12 volt, and this is your AC time, it is your voltage. So, what happens for the positive half cycle, say when it is positive and it is negative, this side is 12 volt, this side is 0 volt, it is your positive half cycle. So, what happens to the diode? You see, your positive side, P side is connected to positive. So, P side is positive, your negative 0 is connected to negative side. So, N side is negative. So, it is forward bias. So, during the positive half cycle, the diode is forward biased, and you know when it is forward biased, if it is a ideal diode, for an ideal diode, the resistance is 0 and the current will flow in the load circuit, load resistor, the current will flow. So, there will be current in this direction, there will be current. So, you say I L, load current. So, there will be current. You now switch over to the other half cycle. Other half cycle means negative half cycle. So, when it is negative half cycle, the situation changes. How changes? Means this cycle, it is positive, it is negative. Negative half cycle, this will be 0 volt, negative. This will be 12 volt, this is positive. That means, the diode P side will be negative, N side will be positive, and automatically as it shows, it is reverse biased, and you know for reverse bias the diode is not conducting, it is open switch. So, the diode will not conduct. That means, what will happen? It will be just silent for the negative half cycle. So, now the forward bias it will conduct, the reverse bias it will not conduct. That is why, if I show the situation in graph, suppose your input, this is your input and this is your output line, both time is taken. So, it is your suppose current, first you take the current. So, the current will flow during the positive half cycle. So, you mark the half cycles and see what was happening. We have already told that for the positive half cycle it conducts. If it is increasing, then the load current will be increasing. If it is decreasing, the load current will be decreasing. Here it is increasing, then decreasing. So, output load current will be increasing or decreasing accordingly. This is load current. So, this is your full positive half cycle. Okay. And remember what was the situation for the reverse bias? In reverse bias, the diode was silent, the current was not flowing. Therefore, there will be no current. Therefore, what will happen? You are having the input, the full cycle, but in output you are getting only a half cycle wave, and the other cycle, the other half is absent here. So, the wave becomes this way. This is your wave. The shape of a wave is this one. This is called sinusoidal wave. Sinusoidal wave. This is now your the peculiar type. So, this is how we get the unidirectional property, because whenever the current is flowing, it is flowing from A to B, always from A to B, current always from A to B, not from B to A, because reverse bias is silent. So, always from A to B, it is unidirectional. Now, I get the current output is unidirectional. That means, always from A to B through RL. This is how it works like a rectifier, and the name you are talking of half wave rectifier. The half means it is active for half cycle. Rectifier means it is giving you one directional current. That is why it is rectifier. Of course, some filter circuits are needed to smoothen this wave. That means, to have the constant value, its magnitude is not constant. It is one directional, no doubt, but its magnitude is changing. So, it is therefore, a filter circuit is required to just make this magnitude constant. So, that is another context. So, so far you now conclude that your result, what is your result? You employ one diode, one transformer and one load resistor your input was this AC, your output was this one. So, you see this is the direction was changing, the magnitude was changing, but in output the direction is not changing. That is how the half wave rectifier converted the AC signal into unidirectional signal. Half wave rectifier converts bidirectional AC into unidirectional DC. So, this is what your half wave rectifier is. So, we now go to the other thing, that is your full wave rectifier. So, we have two type of rectifiers, one is half wave rectifier, one is full wave rectifier, and so far you know the half wave rectifier just uses one diode, but in full wave rectifier we have to use at least two diodes. We can use 4 diodes, but as far as center tape half wave rectifier is considered, we have to use 2 diodes minimum. So, let me draw the circuit. Same, you have the transformer to step down the voltage, and you have 2 diodes here. The circuit will be somewhat different. You will be having a center tapping, and this is your load resistor, diode 1, diode 2. So, half wave rectifier is completed. We went to the full wave conversion, full wave rectifier. The full wave rectifier, as I have told, it employs 2 diodes at least, and it is the center tap full wave rectifier. It is your center tap full wave rectifier. So, you see there are 2 diodes, one is D1, another is D2, and the circuit has been somehow altered. The resistor, load resistor has been kept here instead of on this branch due to the need of our experiment or in need of our device. Now, similarly, a similar explanation, the AC means it gives you AC in this pattern, the voltage will be in this pattern, means it will be increasing, going to maximum, then decreasing 0, then increasing, then decreasing. It is, suppose it is from left to right, it will be right to left. It is positive negative, it will be negative positive. So, this is what AC signal. We have to find the signal in the output end. At the output end, that will be DC, means its magnitude will be constant, its direction will be constant, one directional. This is your core, it will give you the easy path to transfer the flux of this primary coil to the secondary coil, so that the linked flux in the secondary coil will generate or will induce your required voltage, say 12 volt. And it is center tap. Why it is called center tap? The secondary coil is divided into 2 parts. This is the center point, and a connection is taken from the center point of the secondary coil. That is why it is called center tapping. So, it is tapped, it is touched to the center of the secondary coil. That is why the name center tap rectifier it is using the center tap configuration. So, it is a load resistor. About this, across this, you have to find the output. You talk of positive half cycle. When it is positive half cycle, this is your positive, this is your negative. And when it is 12 volt, this one is 12 volt, this is 6 volt, this is 0 volt. Means the middle point will be 6 volt. Means between this point and this point you will get 6 volt, between this point and this point it will be 6 volt. So, because it is 6 volt, now you see which diode will be forward biased and which diode will be reverse biased. Sure, I am sure that you will now catch if it is positive and this is 6 volt means yet lower potential. Remember, always positive means not that it will be always 12, it will be always 0. Positive means it is at higher potential and negative means it is at lower potential. You see 12 volt higher potential, 6 volt is connected to N side. So, it is lower potential. Therefore, I can assign the positive sign and negative sign for the P N respectively. And you know, when it is positive, it is negative, it is forward biased. So, for positive half cycle, D1 forward bias, so conduct, right. Now, come to D2. D2 what happens? It is 6 volt. So, the 6 volt is connected to the negative. Suppose it is 6 volt is connected to N side and 0 volt is connected to P side. Then as I mentioned, the higher potential will be taken positive, the lower potential will be taken negative. Therefore, what we will assign? We should assign the positive sign here, the negative sign here. Now, what will happen? This is reverse bias, obvious. So, D2 reverse bias, not conduct or open switch, open. Now, you just cut, this is not there, you think that this is not there. Then now, will the conduct flow, will the current flow? Yes, because this circuit will be now completed. This circuit is not completed, this is open. So, this circuit will be completed. So, the current will flow this way, this is your closed circuit. So, let it be I1, current 1. So, I1 will flow during the positive half cycle. So, conduct, that is I1, positive half cycle. So, now the current will flow, you see this is the direction, if it is A, it is B, then the current will flow from A to B, I1 from A to B. So, I1 and from A to B. So, I1 from A to B, that is there. Now, you come to the other half cycle, negative half cycle. So, you see D1, what happens? For negative half cycle, this is your 0 volt, this is your 12 volt. So, the situation will be just opposite. How? If it is 0 volt, then it will be your 0 volt, it will be 6 volt, it will be 12 volt. Now, you check your diode, diode D1, it will be 0, it will be 6. That means, this one positive, this one negative, higher potential, lower potential. So, it is reverse biased. So, it is reverse biased. D1 reverse bias, not conduct. Open, this circuit will be open, means you can neglect this one. You keep it open, just like this one, you keep it. So, this one there. Now, come to D2. D2 it is 6, this is 6 and P side this is 12 volt. You see, this is higher potential, this is lower potential. So, I can easily assign the p type p end to be positive, n end to be negative. What is that biasing? That is obviously forward biasing. So, it will conduct. So, if it conducts, then it will conduct this way p to n. So, this way it will conduct. Now, this one will not conduct, D 1 will not conduct, D 2 will conduct, because D 2 is forward bias and conducts. Let this current be I 2, and this is again I 2 is again A to B, because this way the current move, this one is cut. So, this is the only suitable circuit for the flow of current. So, the current will flow from A to B. You see here A to B, here also A to B. Just summary, this is your AC transformer to just step down the voltage from 220 or whatsoever maybe to our usable voltage, suppose 12 volt, then this 12 volt will have to be rectified, 12 volt AC, that has to be rectified. For positive half cycle, as we have discussed, D 1 is forward biased, D 2 is reverse biased. So, D 1 will conduct, the current is I 1. It is from A to B through R L. When in the other half cycle, negative half cycle, D 2 is conducting, D 1 is reverse bias. So, again it is from A to B. This is the path of the current, closed path that has been written here. So, we get two currents through the load. It is your load resistor. Through load resistor, we get two currents. One is I 1 and the another is I 2, and the what is the common feature between two currents? That is from A to B. You see, from A to B. So, what is the conclusion now? So, whenever current is flowing, that is flowing from A to B, and that was the need of, that was the required need of our requirement of our rectification. And you see, with using two diodes and a center tap transformer, we get the current in the same direction. This is your output, this is your output. So, in output I get the current in same direction always, in positive half cycle and the negative half cycle as well. So, from A to B, because the current is flowing from A to B always, that is the same direction, and that is what rectification is. So, therefore, the circuit serves as full wave rectifier. Now, I can define a full wave rectifier or center tap full wave rectifier this way. So, center tap full wave rectifier may be defined as the electronic device which employs the center tap transformer and two diodes to convert AC signal, signal means your voltage or current, AC signal into direct signal, DC signal, your current or voltage. So, the explanation now suits the definition of the full wave rectifier. Now, our job is to explain the rectification graphically. The graphical representation is not new for you, just you look here and you can accordingly represent the graphs. You see that this is your input, this is your input. Let there be three waves. This one is one wave, this one is second wave, this one is third wave. Continuously the waves are generated. This is your input, and accordingly you mark the half cycles, so that we will be is able to draw the output curve easily. Now, when D1 forward bias, what happens? This is your output. D1 forward bias, the current was I1, and for positive half cycle, the I1 flows through D1. So, this is your I1, this is your I1, this is your I1. It is I1. For reverse bias, when D2 is forward bias, this was your I2. All the currents are through load, but this was your I2. And I2, for I2, this was from negative half cycle. And you see the negative half cycle is inverted, but it is erect, because the direction was the input negative half cycle was from right to left. But in our rectifier, it was still A to B. I1 was from A to B, this one also A to B. So, all will be above the x axis or above the time axis. These are the time. So, now you add all the cycles, all the half cycles. Now, your load current, your load current will be I1 plus I2, I1 plus I2, I1 plus I2. You see the design. This is your output current, this is your input current. You see, now you can just leave it. Now, you concentrate on this one, this one. You see, all the full wave positive half cycles, they give this one. All the negative half cycles gives this one. So, what you know, what you find? The diode is active, the circuit is active, the full wave rectifier circuit is active throughout the wave. For positive half wave, it is active, means the current is flowing. For negative half wave, it is active, and moreover, what is the different thing with comparison to the half wave rectifier? Now, in all half wave cycles, the output is always in the same direction, that is from A to B. So, what was our definition? The full wave rectifier should satisfy the property that the current should flow in one direction. Okay. You see, always in one direction. So, this is what rectification is. Of course, it needs further filtration. We need filter circuit to be connected along with this full wave rectifier to get flat. With filter circuit, the current or voltage will be just exactly DC, it will be constant. So, when we talk of a machine or a device, we should test what is the efficiency, what is the ability of the device. We have discussed the half wave rectifier, the full wave rectifier. We should talk of their efficiency. Suppose in our motorbike, we are just investing 92 rupees petrol. So, what is the efficiency, what is the output of the bike, how many kilometers it is covering. Similarly, when you are going to design a device, you should check its efficiency, how much profit it is getting. We are getting how much profit, we are investing this much, how much we are getting. So, the efficiency can be calculated for those rectifiers. It is symbol eta. So, efficiency of rectifier. Now, efficiency means the output is DC, the input is AC. So, the efficiency is defined as the power DC in the output divided by power AC in the input. This is your efficiency. So, now we should calculate what is power DC and what is power AC, then divide, then calculate the efficiency. And you know the DC is not a constant value from the rectifier what you get. It is fluctuating, it is fluctuating. So, the fluctuating current should be converted into the constant value, and the constant value is known as DC current. This is fluctuating, but the constant value we assume is DC current. IDC we name and it is constant. So, what is IDC? Now, IDC is that constant current which sends the same amount of charge in the same time duration as is sent by the fluctuating current in the same time duration. Suppose it is 1 minute. The fluctuating current will be sending more charge, less charge, more charge, less charge. In this way, it will be sending. So, total charge suppose Q, and time is not 1 minute T. So, this one here, this is your current, this was your current. So, now total charge was Q. Now, you assume a constant current. For the same time, the constant current will flow and give you the same Q charge. That means, this constant current is your DC value for this fluctuating current, and this IDC is required for output. So, P DC is nothing but IDC. P equal to I square R, you know. So, here IDC square into the output load was RL. So, this is your PDC. And what about PAC? PAC, AC you know it was another fluctuating signal, but you need a constant signal, constant value from this fluctuating signal. And when this is the way, you have to first find the square of this value, then you take the root over, then you take the mean, and then you take the root over. First you square it, then you take the mean, then you take the root over. So, the name mean RMS, root mean square, opposite order, reverse order. So, it is your RMS value which is the constant value, assumed constant value giving the same effect of the fluctuating signal. So, the AC it will be IRMS, that constant value is known as IRMS, and that square into, in AC what happens, the diode comes along with the load resistor. The diode resistance and load resistor both come in series with the AC signal, but the output we concentrate on the RL only. So, this will be, there will be two resistors in input case. So, this is your formula. So, now come to the calculation. So, IDC is nothing but total charge by total time. Total charge is given by 0 to time I dt, and total time is t, and finally, you may call it 0 to 2 pi I sin omega t 2 pi. You may also convert it this way, and finally, you get IDC is equal to maximum value of the signal, this one peak value, by pi. This is your value IDC, and this is your half wave. If it is full wave, that IDC will be 2 Im by pi. Similarly, if it is half wave and IRMS will be root over 0 to t I square dt by t. This will be the, or finally, you will get Im by 2 for half wave, and for full wave this will be Im by root 2. So, you see this one, this one, this one, this one, you now put these values in your formula. For half wave, you put IDC, IRMS values and calculate. You find for half wave, this will be 0.406 by 1 plus Rf by Rl, and it is for ideal diode Rf is 0 and it will be 1. So, it will be 40.6%, means for half wave your efficiency is 40.6%. Similarly, you put your full wave values in this formula. In the above formula, you put these full wave values, that Im by 2 Im by pi, Im by root 2 in IDC and IRMS, it will give you 812 by 1 plus Rf by Rl. For ideal case, the Rf is 0 and your efficiency will be 81.2%. You now compare two efficiencies. For half wave, it is 40.6. For full wave, it is 81.2%. That means, full wave is better. The efficiency of the full wave rectifier is better. I was talking of initially that full wave rectifier is better than the half wave rectifier, and conclusion I can write conclusion efficiency full wave equal to 2 into efficiency half wave. This is your conclusion, and you see why it is there, because in half wave you are getting the, for half cycle you are getting this one not, but in full wave you are getting for both the cycles. You see this is twice of that one, therefore, you are getting the twice efficiency of the half wave rectifier.